and I swayed her into knowing that I do believe in something. I didn't get into religious things. She spoke to me about churches that accept all religions, which are cool, but she was just kind of crazy religious, and crazy religious people like that, and my grandmother on my dad's side of the family are scary. It's crazy religious people like that who are just frightening. Whether or not they have a positive or negative outlook on it, it's very frightening. These people are weak and they need to learn to let some of that go. It's okay to have a religion. It's okay to go to church. It's okay to worship. But don't bring other people into it. You don't go up to somebody and say, Jesus loves you. That's not okay. It's like Christians or Mormons or Catholics or whatnot that come to your door and try to give you pamphlets. It's just crying out for attention. And nobody likes little attention craving crybabies. Nobody. And I have, many different friends and many different people who I know have different beliefs and different religions, but you know what? None of my friends actually go to church. And if they do, they do it, every so often. We never talk about religion. Usually when we do, it's only, about, it's not, getting into, deep depths. But it's just not an important thing with a lot of us intellectual people. And I know I'm not the smartest person ever, and I don't feel nearly as smart as I did when I was in high school, because I haven't exactly been using my brain lately for intellectual reasons, which I probably should. I've just, there's so many things on my plate. It's just, it doesn't concern us. We don't need to voice our opinions on God unless something like that comes up and I feel I must vent to you. But between us, usually the conversations are scientific or about, just other stuff. Religion just doesn't concern us. It really doesn't. And, religions just cause so many problems. If you really think about it, just cause problems. I don't care what you are. I don't care what you do. Do not put it on other people, because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know if you're talking to somebody who is satanic or atheist or agnostic or somebody, like me. So, be careful who you speak to. Let's see. Hang on.
Hi, baseball.
That was my father who called me. Now, this isn't one of my subjects, but real quick, yes, my father, terrible parent. But he wasn't nearly as terrible as Mom was, so I'm still on speaking terms with him. I'm still on good terms with him because he's become more like a friend figure. I just can't rely on him for any fatherly duties. I know how bad that sounds, but that's the truth of the matter. Of course, he calls me every once in a while, and it's good that he calls me on my birthday. Now, my last birthday, my mother called me. Yeah, if that was my mother, it would have been completely different. No. Mom, no. You're gone. No, don't call me. Never. Mom, no. Bye-bye. But once again, on to topics. So, movies. I've realized that lately, I think people are running out of movie ideas. Excuse me. Goldie Puss. Movies suck now. So, the only movies I've seen coming out are remakes of old ones and sequels to movies that don't need sequels. Example, Cars. Okay, the first one was terrible. It did not need a sequel. Even if you liked the first Cars, it did not need a sequel. And then the remake, Footloose. I've never seen the original one, but that movie is famous for Kevin Bacon. When you think of Kevin Bacon, you think Footloose, and you think of the song. You know, of course, I've never seen it. You can't remake that movie. There are just movies that you cannot remake. And I love Rob Zombie, but Halloween remakes, probably not the best idea either. And sequels, just on and on and on. Like, let's see. Well, Spy Kids. Okay, when I was a kid, I liked the first one. I liked the second one. Third one went a little overboard. And then there came the fourth one, apparently, just recently. Yeah, what? And then the Saw movies, and Hostel, and Final Destination. You know, Saw 16 is gonna come out, and all it's gonna be is the guy freaking sawing a log, going, sawing a log, and in the middle of it he goes, yeah, this is scary. And he just keeps sawing it, 2 hours of sawing a log. And it just, and then movies, and then there are all these like romantic comedies and this other crap. The only movie that is gonna be worth seeing is the new Silent Hill movie. I will actually pay frickin' $16 to go see that in theaters. Movie tickets are expensive. You know, and then, you know, the Harry Potter movies. I like Harry Potter. I'm gonna watch them. Not as good as the books, but yeah, I'm gonna watch them. But there's just, every time I walk by the movie theater, I never see a poster and go, oh my god, I have to see that! Or I never hear of a movie and I go, oh my god, that sounds so cool! No, it's all, that sounds stupid. I think the last good movie I saw that got horrible reviews was, in theater, was Splice. Now, that movie, I thought it was cool. It was shocking and interesting, and it was an original idea. It got terrible reviews. Why? Because it had some things that were controversial and a little shocking, and people were like, oh, ooh, I don't have an open mind about this. But I guarantee that if that was like a remake of something or other, of something supernatural, they would have been like, yay! But, and the last good thing Pixar did, best, like, awesome, good original concept, was Up. That was a good movie. And now Pixar, you know, comes out with this frickin' Cars 2, and then Kung Fu Panda 2. I liked Kung Fu Panda. And I know Kung Fu Panda isn't Pixar, but I'm just talking about sequels. But Kung Fu Panda 2, it didn't need a sequel. It resolved itself. These movies resolve themselves, and you keep going with them. What is wrong with you? Directors, come up with something new. And Human Centipede isn't an excuse. Nor is the sequel. Yes, there's going to be a sequel. I never saw Human Centipede, and I never will. But the South Park episode was really funny. Anyway, enough about that. Speaking of movies, vampires! Vampires. Okay, so I've always been, you know, a fan of vampires. Vampires, you know, the dark, the beautiful, the attractive, the perfect, the young, and the blood-sucking, deadly, beautiful creatures. Of course, originally they didn't start out, you know, beautiful, what with Nosferatu and everything, but they developed into beautiful, perfect, young creatures of awesome darkness. So, you know, when the Twilight books came out, my friends were talking about them and stuff, and they were like, dude, you should totally read it. So I read Twilight, and I loved it. You know, it was awesome. It was different. I mean, it was a little, you know, the books are, they get kind of violent. Bella gets kind of annoying sometimes. The sparkling thing is kind of strange. I mean, I didn't mind it too much, but it was still kind of strange. But otherwise, they got the concept of the perfect, the beautiful, and the young, and the blah blah blah. But then, Oh, I remember hearing that they were going to make a movie out of the Twilight books, and I was like, yay, so excited. And there was a website where, you know, they showed the actors and actresses that Stephenie Meyer wanted to play for certain characters, and they were perfect. They were awesome, they were beautiful, and they totally fit the role. And then Robert Pattinson and whoever that chick is who plays Bella and everybody else, and that stupid guy who plays Jacob. Taylor Lautner, is that his name? Yeah, stupid guy. So I watched the trailer of the Twilight movie and my dreams were crushed. And to this day I have not read Breaking Dawn. I've heard about it. I've heard things that happen because I don't mind people spoiling things for me. You know, it doesn't harm anything. But ever since the Twilight movie came out, vampires have just been another laughing matter to me. There's like Vampire Diaries and True Blood and, you know, all these vampire movies, and everybody's perception of vampires and vampire romances, they're comical, they're silly, they're annoying. It's like, what happened to the vampires we knew and loved? You know, like Van Helsing, Dracula. That is a vampire. The anime Helsing, those are vampires. You know, what happened to vampires, you guys? And there's, well, there was a vampire movie that I did like, which was Daybreakers. That was a pretty good movie. And it was, you know, it was a good vampire movie. It's not all this mushy, I fell in love with a vampire. And yes, I've written a story about somebody falling in love with a vampire, but it was violent and exciting, and, you know, I took the image of a vampire that I know and love and, you know, wrote a story about that. But God, ever since Twilight movies ruined vampires, I've just shoved them out of my life. No one cares anymore. And werewolves weren't exactly my favorite mythical creature, but they've been pushed out as well. We will remember vampires. Rest in peace, vampires. Ooh. Basically, they've just become a symbol of emo crybabies. Next on the agenda is dreams and desires, how they play into with each other. So I've had a couple of dreams where I've actually, something happened in the dream that basically told me to do something, and I've listened. An example would be Hikyo.com. I was an active member of Hikyo for maybe a year, maybe less, and I had a dream that told me to quit. So I left the family. Then the next one I can remember is this is a chestnut coin purse, and inside it has a little tiny, ooh, sorry, it has a chestnut with a little face, and it's also a magnet. And inside I also have my gold quarter and my fancy schmancy $2 bill. So this cute chestnut coin purse came from StrappiaWorld.com, which so basically it came from Japan. I had a dream where I got it, so on my next paycheck after that dream, I bought the chestnut coin purse. Chestnut coin purse.